What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. As Einstein once said, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. This is what Nintendo seems to be banking on as we have yet another Nintendo Labo Toy-Con kit headed our way. If you've seen the pictures, then you know imagination is going to be the primary ingredient in this set. Has Nintendo stumbled onto the truest form of intelligence, or is their imagination running away with them again? Stay tuned as we break down all the latest in Nintendo Labo Land. Alright, it's been a while since Labo has made headlines here on the podcast. Were you guys expecting a new Toy-Con this soon?
We were expecting it in E3, and when it didn't happen, I wasn't expecting it till Christmas. I don't know about you guys.
No.
Or around Christmas, more like November-ish.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was kind of hoping they would have it sooner, but I'm really surprised they actually did.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like this is a real slow ramp up for this thing. Announce it in January, drop it in May, then just see nothing of it for a few months, and then hey, there's a new one. And I'll just say I feel like an idiot for buying the robot suit I'm never going to build, because this one does look cooler. I will say that.
Yeah, this one looks much more interesting than the other ones.
Yeah. It's like a variety kit, but a more cohesive one, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's neat.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I do have some photos I'm going to pop up here. But it is Nintendo Labo Vehicle Kit, and it's due out this September, and it's going to be for $70, so not as bad as could be. But I love the wording in their article where they announce this. It says it's going to include a car, a submarine, a plane, a pedal, 2 keys, and more. So you think, and more, okay, what else is in there? And it's like one other thing. It's just like a pedal for one of the vehicles.
Another pedal. Yeah, as I understand. Maybe it's a brake and a and a gas, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but and more is overselling it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't see 2 pedals anywhere there, but then you can't see the other dude's leg. In fact, I think he's legless. I think what they're trying to promote here is the fact that someone with one leg can play this.
Well, you've got to have a leg out to the knee to prop this
Right.
on.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's
you're in
true.
trouble.
That's true, but you can get something to prop that up. You can get maybe a wooden peg, for example. And right, the airplane one you can play one-handed, right?
That's right.
So this is Nintendo reaching out.
Differently abled. I don't know how you would put it together with one hand, but I guess you could.
Well, this is your parents' help.
That's true.
We're terrible people.
That's right.
We are.
Well, they shouldn't have put the one-legged guy in this ad.
I know. I'm sorry. And then we went to the one-arm man, and it was downhill from there. But no, this is way more interesting. I mean, the gameplay looks more interesting than Robot Suit, right?
Yeah.
There's some neat mechanics, and there's like you have your little side thing on the car that does different stuff, and yeah, this is. I like the controls on the sub. I wish to God that were like a Steel Diver thing. But watch, there'll be a Steel Diver game that comes out and it'll support that stupid thing.
Well, I think that is one thing they're building off of out of the previous kits they've released. I think that one that probably has the most usage, and I don't know how they would find this out, if they've done surveys or whatever, but I would say it would be the Mario Kart connectivity would probably be what most people have actually used a Toy-Con for, other than that initial, oh, this is neat, let's play it. And I think that's what they're building on, is other games that can be built off that same Mario Kart type usage.
Well, for example, I bet you that we will see this wheel get Mario Kart support.
Right.
But it's like without that thing being strapped to your lap, how the hell do you hold it in? Like, I don't see that thing staying in place very long. Like, again, are Japanese people just unnaturally still most of the time while they're playing video games?
It looks uncomfortable.
Well,
And
it looks like, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're pulling on it with one hand, and it's on the
Yeah.
same side as you've got your foot on the pedal. So
Yeah, I mean, unless this thing's duct taped to this guy's knees, I don't see this thing, or thighs. I don't see this thing staying in place very long. I mean, it's hard enough playing Mario Kart with the Wii wheels, right?
Yeah.
I don't see this. Again, I don't. It's neat, and like I said, if you basically get like tape and tape it to your legs every time you use it, but that's not going to be practical.
I wonder if you could set it on a table, like a low
Yeah.
table or something, but you would still
Yeah.
you'd be pulling on it though, and it would.
You need a chair of a good height and a TV tray, right? Because you still need
Yeah.
to do the pedal. Like
That's
it's like VR. It's like strapping the thing to your head is just too much hassle. And I just see this as being neat for an afternoon with a kid. And again, I wish I had kids that were this age. I would be buying this stuff, but I guess I'm going to pass on this one. I wouldn't if I'd already bought the robot suit. But I'll never build that robot suit. I'm going to try to get all my cousins to build it on Thanksgiving since Smash Brothers won't be coming out till the week after, which kills me.
Nintendo does some weird stuff with holidays. They'll like release it on a holiday week, or then they'll release it right after a holiday, and it's like,
Well, yeah,
people
it's like,
actually want it for that.
yeah, you don't think a 4-day weekend is a good time to release a new game? It seems like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of other companies release their games that like the Tuesday before Thanksgiving weekend or the Thursday. It's like with online, right? Online distro, they release it like Wednesday night at midnight or whatever. It's Nintendo's like, no, we're gonna drop Smash at some awkward time between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, if they had it out before Thanksgiving, it would guarantee it would be in all of the Black Friday ads that had
Oh,
video
yeah.
games.
Oh yeah, no,
Definitely.
it would be the ultimate free marketing. And they're just like, nah, because Nintendo, we don't want your money. Right? It's everybody
Yeah.
could play the crap out of that. It would sell. How many copies in the first 24 hours people buying it to play over Thanksgiving weekend? Especially like I know I'm not the only person in the country that goes to a family gathering and plays Smash Brothers and Mario Kart for Thanksgiving. I know I'm not unique. There's got to be lots of other families out there like mine that sit down, or at least all the kids sit down and play Mario Kart and Smash Brothers every year. So it seems to me like they're blowing it, but that's my opinion.
And I thought this was odd too. They're setting up Labo to come out September 14th. Isn't the online supposed to come out around that same time? The online service,
Um,
or if they just said September?
yeah, it's just September. Do we have a hard date?
Yeah. I
I
don't
saw
think we do.
I saw something else saying it was dropping September 25th, and that made me think, and I can't remember what it was now, but it's one of the other games is dropping the 25th.
I had
That's really
thought,
close.
Pardon?
It's really close together.
whatever momentum Labo has is going to be, just brushed aside when the online service comes out, and people aren't going to be talking about this. And if they are, it's just going to be a very short period of time.
Labo Online.
Yep.
That's the big secret. That's the big
Wow.
extra punch Nintendo's got up their sleeve. Online Labo. How would that work? Who the hell knows? That's the big secret. Right?
You get to a bunch of people with the cardboard wheels racing each other.
Yeah,
Online.
exactly. As soon as you make it competitive, though, it gets weird. You
Yeah.
have people gaming the system, not using the actual cardboard controllers, but figuring out how to move their bodies and bizarre ways to make it move more accurately.
You mean like the old power pad for the NES, and you figured out in World Class Track Meet that you could run a lot faster if you just got down and beat it with your hands?
For example. Yeah, it's like, come on, Nintendo. I played Twister. I know how the hell this works. Don't try to pull this shit over on me. Yeah, no. I never had one of those power pads, man. I wanted it. That was always cool. And then by the time DDR came around, it was like, oh, well, now like every ghetto ass kid I see in any arcade is playing it all the time, and it's played out.
Oh.
But when the power pads were around, I thought those were so cool. I always wanted one, never got it. I would have been a skinnier kid. Sorry,
I remember having it and playing it, and I always did the running part. I was pretty young at the time, and I always did the running. And then my 2 older cousins came over, and it's like they did that one time, and it's like, wait a minute, man, we've got this figured in our hands and knees, and it's like, look how fast I can go if I do this. It's like it destroyed the game for me.
Yeah, I remember hearing stories about the Pokewalker from my buddy, the guy that worked at Blizzard. And right, they were all hardcore gamers over there. At least there was a substantial number of them amongst the employees. And so he would just tell me stories of guys coming up with all sorts of bizarre ways over there to game their Pokewalkers. For what was it, Soul Silver and Heart Gold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That had the Pokewalker, and tricks like putting it on a record player, or some dude just like hung it on a string in front of a fan so that it would just kind of keep blowing around. and like some other dude had it on something that like, oh yeah, it hanging in front of a door that like hanging by the bathroom door, because his cubicle was over kind of near the bathroom. So he had hung it on a string by the bathroom door that got used often, so that every time anybody would go in and out of the bathroom, it would get banged and bounce around a little bit.
I remember discussing how to get points for the walker without having to walk.
Yeah.
There's people. Someone like hang it off his foot and then like jiggle his foot while he was sitting down and stuff.
Well,
Like,
and
yeah.
The other thing about it is you could totally game it just by putting it like on your shoe or something instead of your waist, or putting it in your pocket or something. It would just get twice as much motion than it would if you had it like clipped to your belt like it was supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the wife and I were reasonably conscientious about it, but like she would put hers on her belt, I'd put mine in my pocket, and then she'd complain because I'd have 1,200 steps and she'd have like 700.
I mean, I had 2 of them. I had one in each pocket going for a while.
Were you playing both? You were playing both Pokemon?
Yeah, I bought both games, and it's like, well, might as well use them both.
For a little while, like when one of us would go out, that like, oh, can you take it was the Wii Fit meter at that point. But like I'd be going to the store, all right, I'll throw your Wii Fit meter in my pocket. I actually got good use out of that thing, man. When I was taking my flying lessons, I would get. There were a couple times where we'd get down and the instructor would be, okay, that was 5 takeoffs and landings. And I'd look at my Wii Fit meter and I'd be like, no, that was 6, because he was an old dude and he would forget, he would miscount. So and they keep track of how many you do, right, for your logbook.
Right.
It would have you'd see the little up and down graph, and I'd be like, no, looks like we did 6 here. Check it out. So I did that a couple times with him. Oh, okay. Fix the logbook. And then like the wife and I would go hiking, and the altimeter is okay. It's only so accurate, but the wife and I, there's a couple hills around here that back when the wife and I were trying to get, actually, yeah, before we were married, right? When we were actually trying to be in shape. Now we don't give a shit. But but yeah, we'd go up the hills, we'd both wear it, and it was ballpark. We were hiking a 5,000-foot hill, and it would be anywhere between like 4,300 and 5,800. Usually it would err on the lower end, but you know, it was a useful tool. It was just very outdated technology for its time. If they bring that thing back, Nintendo is dead to me. Sorry, I went off on a total tangent about the Wii Fit.
No. We've all been there, I think.
Yeah.
I think about the 3DSs as well, with the getting the steps and every day, and it's like you didn't take your 3DS out with you. You had to shake it when you got home because all right, it's 11 o'clock. I've got to get.
It's 11:50. Yeah.
I need 1,000 more steps. I got to get that other play
You
coin.
wear your arm out, shaking it or whatever.
Right, turn TV on and shake the 3DS in the other hand.
I'd make an effort sometimes. Oh, I'm gonna go walk around the block. I'd actually walk with it. But yeah, that was the ultimate when you had like the Wii Fit meter and or the Poke Walker and the 3DS getting steps and Street Pass, right?
Oh yeah,
that was the precursor to Pokemon Go, I guess.
It kind of was.
I do wish there was more of that with the Switch.
Yeah.
They did talk about a 3DS successor. I'd like to see a Nintendo unit that has, all that stuff still. Street Pass was cool.
I would love to have something to get all those effects without actually having to carry my Switch everywhere. If I could just have an app on my phone, or
just carry a Joy-Con.
Those things. Yeah.
Just carry a Joy-Con around and have it do it.
Yeah, just some kind of location-based thing. And I don't know how they deal with hackers, or if they ultimately can deal with hackers as far as, spoofing GPS or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be neat to have location-based stuff. That and again, they're sort of doing it with Let's Go Pokemon. The integration with Pokemon Go, that's a start. I'd like to see more of that. It just, you still like Pokemon Go, huh, Jason? Or do you just do it because you got to do it?
Kind of both. I enjoy it sometimes, and then other times I think about, what am I doing with my life? Why am I playing this game? And then it's like you're realizing like, okay, for example, I caught a shiny Swablu this past weekend, and I looked to see how many I had caught or seen in order to catch this shiny Swablu, and it was 1,085.
Oh my goodness!
And that's times how many Pokemon?
That was just for the one Pokemon. That was just for Swablu.
Well, how many Pokemon are they up to in Go now? Is it the full set, or is it?
Oh no, they're still third generation.
Oh,
that's the other thing. They're talking, maybe fourth gen's coming this week. Maybe it's coming this month.
So what do you got? Like 300 or 400? What's third gen? 350.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's close to 360. I think.
Yeah. So times 1,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of Pokemon. I don't have 1,000 of all of those Pokemon, but
no, I'm sure you don't. There might be some you have 2,000 of, right?
I'm sure there is. If I caught every Pidgey or Rattata or any of those common ones that I saw, yeah, I would have way more than 1,000.
Is there a limit to how many Pokemon you can have?
There is. I'm not sure what the base starting point was, but for 200 Pokecoins, you can expand it by 50. And I think I'm up to around 1,500.
I think it was only 200 to start with.
It might have been.
Have you put money in, or are you just making money off the game?
I just make money through playing and keeping gems and stuff.
Okay, because yeah, it was at least around here, man. At the height of it, and maybe now not so much, but whenever I was playing it, gyms would turn over so quickly. That you just never, you could never make any money. And so it quickly felt pointless because, I mean, there were a handful of times I got 10 coins here or 20 coins there, very, very rarely. But any other time I took over a gym, within a couple hours, it was taken back over.
And see, they've capped it now to where it's 50 a day. So it doesn't matter if this Pokemon's been there and this Pokemon's been there and they both come back in the same day. It'll only give you a max of 50 coins. So it's,
Meh.
but there was a weird point. It's like, I know what you're meaning. When it was so popular, it's like, why even bother putting a Pokemon in it? Because it's going to be home before you get back home. And then it kind of slowed down. It took a dip, and you could leave Pokemon in there for a week as long as you wanted to feed them berries. And there's still places around here that are like that. You go off the beaten path, they can stay in there as long as you want to keep feeding them berries.
That must have. Oh, go ahead.
But now it's kind of getting back to the point that the people that are playing are like super hardcore. So, there's some places in town you go to put a Pokemon in the gym, and within 15 minutes someone's going to come and take it back over.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know, but why they have to have it all the time? Anyway, sorry.
Trolls, man.
It is like trolls. It is like trolls. You know who you are, people I'm talking about. That one post office that I go to. Could you leave my Pokemon in there for 8 hours, please? But anyway, I digress. And perhaps we should talk more about Nintendo Labo instead of Pokemon Go.
What else do we have to say about Labo? None of us have children of the right age, and none of us are particularly excited about it. I mean, this one is the neatest looking one. Well, I don't know if it's the original variety kit's probably still more interesting. But this is better than the robot.
If I was going to buy one, this is probably the one I would buy.
Oh, of the three?
Yeah.
Ah, all right.
Is the price too off-putting? If it was like
Yes.
$30, would you be in it?
I probably would, yeah.
I wouldn't expect it for 30, but 50 or 60 maybe.
Oh, I know it'll never be that low, but if it was, I'd be buying it.
What was the price? I didn't notice. Was
30?
it 90?
It's right now it's 70.
70.
Oh.
That's a lot of money to me for
it is.
Yeah.
It is, and it's.
The games really aren't going to be that great.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. And Nintendo's just really all about premium pricing these days. They really want to make it look like something fancy,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the person too that even if I had Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, which I do not, but if I did, I would not load it back up just to play with the Labo kit. Maybe once.
If you already had the Labo kit.
Yeah.
Try it a couple times, but yeah, that wouldn't make me buy it.
Yeah. It doesn't really appeal to me at all. It's just kind of, it is more interesting and it's more variety, and I hope it's a step in the right direction. But no.
If I had an 8 to 10-year-old, totally. But otherwise, no.
Yeah.
And if they could actually sell these individually, that would be a big, for like a third of the price or a fourth of the price, that would be a big thing too. Even if I had to order it from like Nintendo.com for $20, maybe.
Yeah.
I did want to point out one other thing. This is something that Max had pointed out to me on Twitter. Apparently in Japan, there are schools that are allowing Labo to come into the school, and they kind of have competitions and let the kids put it together and make their own creations. It's pretty interesting stuff. I hope that comes outside of Japan and comes to the U.S. It'd be interesting to see that Nintendo get more involved with something like that.
Yeah. I guess over in the UK too, they're using it in school, or they want to. They're interested in it.
It'd be neat.
Yeah.
Pricey. I would wonder what the school bulk discounts are. Right.
Right. It'd be pricey, but definitely get the kids' attention. Get them interested in it.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you divide the kids up into groups.
Yeah.
How many switches do you need? 8?
Yeah.
Then they can all get in for a round of 4-on-4 Splatoon when they're done. Right.
I wonder if Nintendo offers like a teaching kit, and maybe they have like a Switch that could be used in the classroom, and maybe a rep comes, and then they let them do their segment with it, and then they take the Switch and stuff back. But that's a really good point about the Switch. Even the Joy-Con are too expensive to just let float around the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely not too expensive to provide one for every kid. You know, I don't. This can't be widespread. You know what I mean? It could only be widespread if they were on track to meet their 20 million this year, which nobody seems to think they are. Investors don't like. There's a confidence gap here that's becoming a bigger and bigger elephant, and maybe it'll start to dissolve when the online service comes out. But I think all of us know Nintendo well enough to know that it's probably not going to be the case. I don't know. I see shades of Wii in this, where it's just boom and start and fizzle.
There was an investor who said something along the lines of, "It's been out for 1 year, and we've seen Nintendo has done well, and his stock has went up, and the Switch has sold well, but now it's starting to fizzle out, and this is like the first year out of a 4 or 5 year cycle."
Yeah, it shouldn't be slowing like it is, but it was a big boom, and then just like, and we all know why. We all complained about it. We want people to be happy with the games they've got. Third party support. Yeah. They got some people for the initial third party launch, and then it just dropped off. Like, if they were able, like, whatever excuses they have for development cycles and what have you, like, if they were able to have stuff ready by last November for launch, where the hell is everything else? What I can't think of a third party title that's come out since November, a major AAA. Am I missing anything?
The only thing I can think of, probably the last one, was Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh, did that finally drop? I know that got delayed.
I don't really know. It's not something I've been following, and I haven't heard.
And Wolfenstein 2 also got delayed, didn't it? Or did that finally drop?
I think that is finally out, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Okay. So that, I mean, that's what? That's a 8-month gap with Donkey Kong and basically ports to fill it.
Yeah.
Old Wii U ports. I don't count Bayonetta as a third-party title at this point. That's a Nintendo. That's a Nintendo baby.
It's become.
Yeah. So what the hell happened? Like, what? I don't understand. Was it just third parties killing it, or what? Like, I don't. Is the machine just not quite powerful enough for them still? Panic button doesn't seem to have much of a problem. They're pulling off wonders. 30 frames a second doesn't seem to be bothering many people. We don't know numbers on Doom or any of the other big ports. LA Noire, I can't imagine did well. The Resident Evils, I can't imagine did well. The only ones that I can think did well were Skyrim and Doom. But they gotta have done well, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well enough that Bethesda should be happy. And they did put out Wolfenstein. They are continuing their support. Now, Bethesda doesn't put out a ton of games, so it is what it is. And they put out the stupid Fallout Shelter. But Fallout 76, that's not announced for Switch, right?
No.
Or announced for everything but Switch, is it? Pretty much.
And there's still, even in the feeds that I follow, which are primarily Nintendo, I'll see a new game coming out or games going on sale or something. It's like, oh, what's this? And then you say, oh, it's on Xbox. Oh, it's on PlayStation. Or, oh, it's Steam. And it's like, well, why isn't this on Switch?
Just because it isn't. I mean, they can have a raft of stuff at Christmas. I don't know what that's going to do at this point. Like, kids move on quickly to the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much longer I'm going to hear kids barking at their parents for a Switch. It went on for a year. I don't know. I mean, do you guys, did you expect to see more of them out there than you do? I don't know how much you get out there. I don't much these days. But like, I expected to see more kids at restaurants with them. You know, I expected to
Far as
just.
I've never seen a Switch in the wild being used.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't either.
it feels like the 3DS.
It just
Like if
feels
I were at
too,
a.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It just feels too expensive to be taking it out
Well, okay, fair enough.
and around. For me, anyway.
Fair
I'd be
enough.
afraid I'd lose it.
I
Leave it
just did.
someplace there.
I just did some traveling, and I didn't see anyone else with one on the plane. On any of the multiple flights I took, I wasn't going up and down rows and looking over people's shoulders, but right, as gamers, we tend to notice that stuff. If there's somebody in an
Yeah.
airport sitting, like, right, I saw kids with tablets and I looked, little 7-inch tablets that were about the right size, and I would look, no, it's not a Switch. So I didn't see any.
You
And I
didn't have
don't.
this. You
Oh, go
didn't
ahead.
have one of these epic Mario Kart competitions with everyone around you on the flight
No, of course
passing
not.
out Joy Cons.
No, of course not. I had my mom spilling coffee on me for 12 hours, and I had, some dude in a yarmulke snoring next to me on the other side. It was, I was I traveled to Europe. It was a long, interesting series of flights. Travel is always hassle. International travel's more hassle. Bringing your complaining old mother along with you for the ride is
Just a bonus.
nuts. Yeah.
But you
Go
made
ahead.
it back alive. You're here.
I made it back alive. I was able to keep up with my Fortnite dailies from over there, or at least not, let more than 3 pile up. Right. So that I didn't lose any. Yeah, I just log into that. One that was cool about the Switch. I could just hop in on shitty Wi-Fi, and it was shitty Wi-Fi. Oh, people were jumping around, like I couldn't do anything. But fortunately, I was able to keep rotating out the dailies so that I had stuff like outlive opponents or, play 7 matches or something stupid. Right. So I could just totally things that I didn't actually have to play, things that all I had to do was, you get points just for showing up. Those were the dailies I was able to do and keep myself, below the count so I didn't, miss any days. Not that we're talking about Fortnite yet, but sorry, go ahead.
How was just talking about traveling with a Switch, how was the battery life? Did you take anything with you to recharge it?
You know what? I brought a power brick that I was not officially certified, but I read through recent Amazon reviews and found at least like 3 or 4 different people that said I've used it to charge my Switch and it works fine. And so I went for it and didn't have a problem with it. I have a little universal like 6-port USB thing that I bring with me when I travel that's got, the different plugs for everywhere. And I've never had a problem charging out of that. So I was charging out of that as well. So back and forth between the two. Right. I do have a charge brick. I did need to use it. It was a long ass wait for dinner at the wedding, man. Oh my God. So I busted out the Fortnite. I tethered to the phone. It did all right. I had good 4G service. And I played around. My buddy's kids were looking over my shoulder because they didn't let them bring their 3DSs. So they were stuck with nothing. They just had to sit in their ties and sweat in their little suits. Poor kids. I felt terrible. So I bust out the Switch. I try to hand them each a Joy-Con. Their dad, he's an ex-cop. Or actually, he's not even an ex-cop. He's a desk cop these days. He's like, no, they can't. No, they're going to be polite today. Whatever he said. I'm like, all right, fine. I just sat down and started playing. I was going to offer him a Joy-Con each. Here, you can play some Mario Kart, guys. Oh, tough shit. Sorry, kids. You get to sit across from me. I'll turn up the volume so you can hear it, but you can't see it. Eventually, he let him go. He let him sit up and look over my shoulder, and then it's just like, dude, I'm just hiding under a tree. You can sit and watch me for 20 minutes if you want. Poor kids. I didn't mean to screw with them. French people like to drink a lot of wine, man. I was just wasted by that point.
That's a great story, man. I love it. Kids were so desperate to do something. They watched you sit under a tree in Fortnite.
Yeah, that's
You should have been streaming that. Bored at a wedding? Watch us play Fortnite.
That would have been. Oh yeah, that's true, man. I was talking about trying to get something appropriate to the podcast, some kind of picture or something while I was over there, and I didn't. But that would have been nice. That would have been a good clip for the podcast. Poor kids, man. I'm taking off my tie. They're not allowed to take theirs off.
Oh man.
It was hot. It was a hot day, and it was real. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's the reception. You're supposed to get more comfortable.
Yeah, no, totally. But I don't know. My buddy's kind of too much of a hard ass sometimes. So anyway.
All right. Yeah. So, oh yeah, we were talking about Labo before we got distracted.
Oh, okay. Well, the next subject on Labo was the cardboard coating spray.
Right. Cardboard coating spray SW. I wonder what SW stands for.
Southwest.
I wonder. So what?
Southwest.
Southwest.
We're still on the airplane thing, I think. So,
maybe.
If you haven't seen the ads for this yet, Japanese accessory maker ISM is producing a spray that you apply to your already completed Labo and protect it from like sweat, oil, dirt, things like that. Comes out August 10th. It's about $15 a bottle. It looks like it's little bitty eyeglass cleaner size bottles.
Yeah.
But I talked to Max about this, and it's like, what in the world is this that you're spraying on cardboard that protects it? And is there an industry to protect cardboard?
Cardboard Protection Society.
That's right.
You guys are familiar with Scotchgard, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You
put that on cardboard, though?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, okay. For my model plane days, we used to coat the styrofoam airplanes with some kind of acrylic that you could buy in giant tubs from Home Depot for dirt, and we would put it. My buddy had like an airbrush thing, so we'd put it in that, and we could spray it on the planes. This sounds like basically the same thing. It was kind of a plasticky coating when it hardened. It was not quite like a fiberglass, but it was just kind of a nice gloss coat. But it was just it would make the foam planes a little more firm, right, in the air, and behave a little more like, less like styrofoam, and you know what I mean, kind of fill in the pores a little bit and that kind of thing. So I could see this being something like that, but it is, a tiny little bottle for $15. I'm pretty sure you can get the big tub at Home Depot for like $8. But sorry, go ahead.
I'm just wondering too, like, how will this affect using your not using your Joy-Con, but the movement of the Toy-Cons rather? I don't know.
Well, you know what? Anything that slides or move, you know what I mean? I would imagine would be affected. It's kind of like when you put a screen protector on your phone, it doesn't have the same texture as the bare glass.
Right.
So it's not going to have quite the same texture as the bare cardboard. Will it matter really? I don't know, but it won't be quite the same. That's true.
Would you have to take it apart to get all the areas?
It would depend. Whatever areas you think are going to get sweat, oil, and dirt on them.
Yeah. I was also thinking like just the repetitive movements.
Mm-hmm.
wearing out the cardboard.
And another thing is, why sweat oil and dirt? Why not protect it from spills, protect it from, spills. why, why sweat? Why oil? Why
Yeah.
Well, sweat I get because your hands are touching it, I guess.
Yeah.
oil because
from
you're
your hand. Yeah.
because you have greasy teenagers.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever had like a lens or something, or you've got glasses and you touch it with
Yeah.
your finger, it leaves residue. I
I
guess
get-
that's what they're going for, but
You get oil on your face
that's-
and you touch your face.
And it's a Japanese, like in America we would say protect from spills and other hazards.
Yeah.
In Japan they're like protect from sweat, oil, dirt, semen, urine. They're very specific. It's kind of like, right, they think about toilets a lot. You ever seen a Japanese toilet? You've heard about
yeah,
how complicated Japanese toilets are. Yeah. They think about details about things that most people don't want to think about. Never
that's a
mind.
good point. And that's why they want to. Why you want to put a protective coating
Exactly.
on your?
Well, that goes
Labo.
back. Remember that Twitter post that somebody had of the Labo girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is for that. This is to coat the Labo girl so that she can be, you can make use of her more than 2 or 3 times before she gets all moldy and crusty. Right? I'm sorry, James.
I just we'll have to leave that to the experts here.
Now all they
Anyway,
need is Labo lube. Sorry, go ahead.
all right, we definitely need to move on from Labo. I'm talking about something else, but it's not Labo.
Yes.
All right. So the other news coming out this week, and I know this is something that we've all been waiting to pre-order. The I think I'm skipping ahead on my own list here. So
That's fine.
Nintendo
Okay.
Switch Online is up for pre-order on Amazon. So if you want to pre-order the online service, you can get a little card for a 3-month plan or 12-month plan. I know we're all so eager for this. To pay Nintendo money, we're willing to pre-order this.
Yeah, I don't like.
Why do you need to pre-order it?
Will they run out day one?
Yeah, how are they going to run out of online service? I mean, I think we joked maybe a couple months back about how Nintendo's going to be like, oh, we're only going to allow the first 100,000 people who sign up to get online for the first week or whatever, right? And make it like a thing where it's like you get a golden ticket to get into Nintendo Online. This sort of smells like that, but that would be the dumbest thing Nintendo has ever done, and we've seen many dumb things out of Nintendo.
I keep thinking it's maybe could be used for like a early adopters get early access or get some kind of bonus like the 3DS program for ambassadors, but I don't.
Oh yeah, if there was something like that announced,
Oh yeah.
open the floodgates. Open the
Yeah.
floodgates, right? People would be all over that. But
Right.
I haven't heard anything like that. This is just like, I'm going to show my Nintendo pride and buy this early.
You're
It's going to be
pre-ordering a
so
payment.
good. Yeah, I'm I'm pre. What are you doing? You're pre-promising to pay a payment for Nintendo Switch Online whenever it becomes available, which we still, as far as we know, don't have an actual day yet.
Well, it is getting comments here that'll be available in September, so I'm wondering with pre-orders if they're boxing themselves into a date. Of course, this is Nintendo.
I hope so.
Do anything, but yeah.
Box yourselves in, Nintendo, please. You need to be boxed in.
Yeah.
This was supposed to happen 1 year prior to when it's happening, if I remember correctly. September of last year, 2017, was when the online service was supposed to launch. They let us know a couple months before. Oh, sorry, nope, not going to happen. Now it's a year later. this better blow my mind.
Yeah.
Or there's just right, or there's no point.
This is like a major game release. This is like they've
Yeah.
announced Smash Brothers, but they haven't told you what the game is going to be like. It's the same thing. It's just like I'm waiting for the next Mario or Zelda or Smash to come out, and it's Nintendo Switch Online. That's kind of how I feel. And that's how they're selling it and treating it.
And it better not come in with a whimper. There better be lots for me to do and see when it happens. You know what I mean? I better feel like this is a big deal when it launches, even if it's only for like a week before it wears off. But you know what I mean?
Better be something.
Yeah, and it better be more than 10 virtual console games. Like, I don't know what. There better be awesome friendless integration. There better be massive updates for existing games to make use of all sorts of new, online functionality. Like
New
this,
UI would be nice.
a new UI would be huge,
Yeah.
or at least some substantial additions to the existing one.
Maybe a browser.
Browser,
Netflix.
Netflix.
A whole slew of online streaming services. That I think is likely. I think that's very, very likely that we'll see Netflix and HBO and what were some of the other ones we heard about, Crunchyroll, and there was like MLB.com and whatever. Now here's another thing. A lot of these companies were on board 6-9 months ago. Who do we know for sure they're on board now when investors and analysts are taking a dump on Nintendo all of a sudden?
I would imagine that it's already been done from our previous conversations on Netflix. I'd imagine this would be something very simple for a company like Netflix or Crunchyroll or any of the others to have an app for a game system, because they already exist on Xbox and PlayStation 3DS.
And it's a standard. It's all standard hardware these days, and so it's easy for them to write it and port it. So yeah, agreed. It's just Nintendo probably promised some numbers somewhere in some of these agreements, and those numbers, I don't know, man. Have we heard numbers recently?
Not that I know of.
No.
Yeah, and we know why we haven't.
Yeah. No news is definitely not good news when it comes to reporting your financial results and numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny. I mean, because, right, a lot of times companies probably make it look worse than it really is because people go, oh, they're not reporting their numbers, but it's a thing where it's just like if the numbers are low, you just don't report them. You only report them if they're awesome or above expectations, at least.
I guess my biggest fear is that Nintendo Switch Online will come in, it'll be there, and it'll be the exact same experience that we have every other day on the Switch. It's just now we're paying for it.
Yeah, I'm scared of that too.
And it'll just be coming soon. And it'll be Reggie giving his big speech about, here's all these great things we're going to be coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and it's going to be nothing.
Eventually.
Every few months, we will get some kind of bonus. That's my expectation. I don't know what it'll be. Free gold coins, a free virtual console game, something. A free theme if they do themes, right? I think they'll drop the occasional little freebie or the little event or something for online subscribers only. But outside of that, I just see them sucking in some money to pay for infrastructure.
Just thinking about, I hate to bring up Fortnite so early, but we will be talking about it later. But like in Fortnite, doesn't the PlayStation have a special character that you get for free by having the PlayStation service? Isn't it a pink commander or something?
Oh.
Or whatever, or blue, whatever Sony's colors are. I guess it's blue.
I was not aware of that. Okay. That's interesting.
But you see things like that for games where it's just like a little bonus for, member. I don't know if you have to purchase that or if it's something that's given to you. but it would be.
I assume, well, the way PlayStation Network's always worked, they give away a lot of free stuff. I mean, I don't play much Sony. I have an old PS3. Even after the PS4 came out, I occasionally would be tempted to just pay for a month of it just to get a bunch of free games. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like the Twitch thing, right? If you had Twitch Prime, you just click a little thing and you connect your Fortnite account and you automatically get a free skin and dance. So I assume it's probably something comparable, and it's Sony needs, all the fan service they can get because they're cocks when it comes to online multiplayer.
By the way, I did look it up just to get a quick check, and it is you get free loot in Fortnite for just being a PS Plus subscriber. It looks like. So it would be nice to see if Nintendo's making us pay for this service to get bonuses not only on Nintendo forefront, but for other games on the system as well.
Yeah, I mean, that requires cooperation between Sony and Epic. I don't know if Microsoft has done something similar or not.
I think they have. I know there was 2 colors. There was like a pink one and a blue one. I think it was Microsoft and not PC. I'm not positive.
I would think, if anything, Switch would get the pink one, but
yeah. Yeah, you would think. Something red. Ish.
Oh, I just mean pink because that's traditionally thought of as the wimpy color in Nintendo. And,
oh yeah. But anyway, the other side of the Nintendo Switch Online information is in Japan, there will be a free trial coupon, and we have got images of this. It comes with Splatoon 2 sets, with a Nintendo Switch Splatoon 2 set, and they are restocking those or reissuing those, I guess. And the newer sets will have a free trial coupon in it, and it's for 90 days. So, but it says on the coupon, usable from September 2018. I guess that's still a little open, but that's some more information confirming they're boxing themselves into September, hopefully.
Yeah, they're pretty set. And I would be surprised if once the online service drops, if every Nintendo Switch set doesn't come with a card in it for 90 days of online service.
That would be nice, especially worldwide.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. I would assume in the States. I would assume in Japan. I would assume by region, unless there's something weird in Europe. I would assume that that's going to be a standard thing because, right, it's you bought this thing. They want to sell you the online service for it, and it's kind of like XM, right? When I took my car into the dealer to get it worked on, like a month ago, they just signed me up for 2 free months of XM again, like the same thing I got when I bought my car. I don't know why they did it, but whatever. Thank you, car dealer.
I wish my dealer would do that.
Yeah, never done it for me before. The girl that I was talking to was nice enough, but I don't think she was into me or anything.
Oh, I see. Well, it's always dudes where I go, so.
Yeah, no, this was like the only girl that worked there, but whatever. It was, I don't know. And little does she know it's my wife driving the car and the whole time anyway. So she's the one that's using the XM for 2 months. But I assume it's going to be the same kind of thing where they look at the free 90 days as more likely to result in somebody purchasing the online service versus if they don't provide it, right?
Right.
So I assume that they're just all going to come with it once it launches. That all the Christmas ones, all the ones we see on the shelves for Christmas will include 90 days of online service, or at least 30 days or 60 days.
I wonder if this was just because it came with Splatoon 2 and that's required online service for the majority of the game. I wonder if it will only be in bigger sets or if it will be in the standard Switch. Because we don't really get those sets here that often.
I suppose maybe a bare Switch wouldn't, but I still think it would. It's the next best thing to a pack-in game, right?
Right.
True.
And they don't have that, so it's like, well, theoretically, if you buy the Switch, yeah, you can do something with it for 3 months or whatever, before you have to go out and buy a game or before you have to pay for online service or whatever it is. Because right, I see, and that's a question. Something like Fortnite or Rocket League, is it going to require it? Do we ever confirm? Does it require PSN to play those online? I assume it does.
I would think so.
I would think so
or,
too.
or Xbox Live, as the case may be.
Yeah.
And I assume it will on Switch as well. So, yeah, I mean, right, you get a Switch, there's now some free-to-play content in Fortnite, and I can't think of what else. The Petted
Paladins.
game.
Paladins.
Oh, Paladins is the other one, and Warframe's coming soon. So there's legitimate, and reasonably AAA free-to-play content. So right, you can buy a Switch now and have stuff to play on it without ever buying a game. So now they want to sell you online. They can get you to pay one way or another.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, so moving along back to the topic list in order. There was some other information come out this week, leaked onto the internet, and it's something I was rather surprised to see. The Nintendo Switch software development kit, which has been very hard to get, especially early on with developers from what we've heard, is now available online. Someone that has one has leaked it online, so should be a heyday for hackers coming.
Yeah, we'll see. I assume that's going to give people a lot of insights into the OS and how everything works on the back end. And it will probably, with data mining, they'll be able to see, what they can do with it. But again, it's one of those things that's esoteric and that your average end user probably isn't going to see any results of, I don't think.
I'm expecting the most we'll hear about it is there will be somebody breaking it down and reporting about it on Twitter, and we'll have to see the news every day of what they found in this. So far as I know, this has just happened as we're recording. It's come out today. It's the first I'd ever heard about it. So,
and do we know? Here's another thing. Do we know if it's like the current version? Like, I don't know how many revisions of the SDK there have been since it was the whatever it was called. I can't remember what it was called before the Switch. Now, the NX. Right. So there've been presumably multiple iterations of the SDK. So which one is this? Well, we'll see. Like I said, it's like the thing where they plugged in through the Joy-Con. It's like, wow, it's cool. And some people will do some crazy stuff with it probably, but it'll be a very, very tiny percentage of the gaming population. It definitely won't be us.
can we expect Nintendo to take any kind of action about this? I mean, I'm sure they will, but I mean, anything that would affect or make things more difficult for the average gamer?
Cease and desists and takedowns, but for the average gamer, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't think it would affect us any.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't. You heard the thing, actually. This is something I don't remember if it's on our agenda or not. This is something that I noticed has been popping up lately. For a long time, the ROM sites, Nintendo had just kind of put takedowns and cease and desists. Now they're filing lawsuits, which I guess they hadn't done before.
Right. We talked about that last week.
You did talk about that last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this may or may not dovetail into that subject.
I was just wondering if Nintendo would do something really crazy, because they've been really cracking down on hackers and on like their trademarks infringement and stuff like that.
Yeah, fan games and all that kind of stuff lately.
I mean, they're not going to do something crazy like discontinue that SDK and make it to where developers are going to have to get a new modern kit that I don't know.
Oh,
I wonder if it will delay games or cause games that are in the process, in the final stages of being released or in development, will have to be redone.
I can't imagine if it's something where it was an update where they had to update the SDK for the developers, it would be something that would be a minor enough update that would just be kind of a security thing, that they shouldn't have to change anything deep in the code. I wouldn't think, nothing that would screw up anything that was in progress. They'd be able to maintain compatibility, I guess, would be the case. But it's again, something gets hacked based on its popularity. And well, Nintendo stuff just gets hacked because it's Nintendo. But right, the more popular something is, the more people are trying to dig into it. So I think that all figures back into what are the Switch's numbers going to be, and if it continues to be wildly successful, which it's kind of not anymore, then yeah, you would start seeing a lot more stuff. You'd start reading a lot more about hacks. But I think as it's fizzling out, I think people are losing interest. I think people are going back to hacking their phones.
Right. Whatever's going to get them the most votes on Reddit when they bring about into their system.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's what seems to happen. Is like, oh, we've hacked our system. Let's post it on Reddit. Tell them what we've done. I don't know. It's just the days and times we live in, I suppose.
Yeah, everyone wants attention.
That's right. Speaking about unfortunate things happening to Nintendo, we did get a little bit of information via a financial release that came out today, Tuesday, as we are recording, and it's regarding the Pokemon Switch title, the mainline series game that's scheduled to come out in 2019. Previously, it said second half of 2019, and many people thought, it could be as early as summer. But now they have moved the release window to late 2019, so it's pretty much ensuring it's going to be a holiday release. What this means most to me is we have Smash this year, but it's basically 2 holidays where they're going to be pushing Pokemon, and I just wonder how well that's going to work, especially if this one, the Let's Go series, doesn't do so well.
Well, and also I think that's a very big assumption to say it's a holiday release. If they pushed it from halfway through 2019 to the end of 2019, we know Nintendo's history. I give it less than a 50-50 shot of coming out before Christmas. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm guessing probably for holiday. For holiday.
Yeah, you think they'll make it by next Christmas?
I would hope.
Crossing our fingers.
I'm not giving them that much credit.
Yeah, late 2019 could very easily become early 2020.
Yeah.
Or
since
early usually meaning right before summer. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
Well, it sounds like they're trying to really do a new style of game with this one, calling it an RPG and everything. So
if it's a legit MMO, man, they can take all the time they want, other than the fact that WoW came out a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not surprised it's taking long.
EverQuest was out for years before that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, if they're doing something new and they need more time, that's great. But yeah, I don't know. It's a long time to go without a Pokemon game on the Switch to me. I don't know.
Well, it's like, okay, we need more games like Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Doom. Like, you can still count them on, at least on 2 hands, the really big titles on Switch. Whereas every other console's got just dozens and dozens. And granted, they've been out longer, but well, and a lot of them, you know what? Both of them, people complained about the first year not having a very good catalog, right? A lot of stuff in their cases was still coming out for the previous consoles, whereas Nintendo, they wait until their existing console has been beaten into the ground before they release another one, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sure. Yeah.
They've pretty much always done that. They wait until the console is really, really dead before, okay, here's our new one. whereas Microsoft and Sony just really just roll right into the next. So their catalogs kind of sucked at launch, but I don't know, man. It's been a year and a half. How long has it been? It's been
Yeah.
almost a year and a half.
Well, didn't
And
they say too they don't like to talk about new titles until like 6 to 9 months before they release them?
Yeah, okay. Well, it's 6 to 9 months before Christmas, and we got Smash and Pokemon. And what else?
I really don't think we're going to see anything else. I mean, we might get something along the lines of like a Fortnite level of something new, maybe. I don't know what that would be. But,
There's unfortunately
Yeah.
there's nothing that's Fortnite level right now, but Fortnite.
well, you know what I mean. Something that's popular that's not on the Switch that may come to Switch that would be exciting, but
PUBG,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I can't think of what else. Rocket League, Fortnite, like the super top tier big ones. They're showing up for the most part. Fallout is not. That's a gap. Fallout's a gaping hole. GTA is a gaping hole. And I'm sure there are others we're not thinking of, but those are the two biggest ones I think that everyone's been kind of holding their breath for since the Switch launched, and we're still holding our breath. Especially after Doom and Skyrim, man. Everyone's like, okay, Bethesda, just bring it all out.
Yeah.
yeah,
And Wolfenstein.
it's true. So
We do that Burnout that they redid for PS4 and Xbox too.
it's true.
And where's Ubi? Like, Ubi was all over the Wii U. Where are they now? What have they put out? They put out like a Rayman, and they did the Rabbids Mario crossover.
That's true. Yeah, that was a big deal.
But Ubi's got a lot of licenses. Ubi's got all the Tom Clancy's. Ubi's got like a bunch of old stuff like the Prince of Persia's and whatever. Like they've done
Rayman.
remasters of a lot of things. The Crew. It's like they've got the Far Cry's. Where is all this stuff?
They've also did. We're going to do that Starlink that's coming out in this fall sometime.
Oh, is that Ubi?
Yep.
Okay, so we get their kid stuff. That's what we get. We get Rayman and we get Starlink, and we don't get the Far Cries, and we don't get the Clancy's, and we don't get okay.
We get Monopoly.
No Rainbow Sixes.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed would be big.
Yeah, AC. We did see an AC3 on Wii U.
Yeah.
At launch, but yeah, where is all that stuff?
You guys are
Yeah.
overlooking the biggest game that they released for the Switch, and they continue to release for the Switch, and that is Just Dance.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling that one out. Oh my God.
They can keep those coming easy.
I posted that tweet because I just couldn't believe that I had some rando on my friends list that had like, what was it, like 45 hours into Just Dance.
Did they turn it on and go out for a long weekend and leave their Switch running?
I hope that's it. Either that or you just got, a hyperactive girlfriend that wants to come over and play all the time.
Or younger siblings.
Or small children. Please be small children. I don't want to picture any grown adults playing that.
I don't want to see any grown adults playing. That would be a terrible, terrible Nintendo event. They had Just Dance and they had people. People would do it too.
Well,
they got a booth. Somebody'd be there dancing. That's nothing I need to see.
Yeah, fortunately, they didn't do it at the one event that I went to. But no, like with the Switch, you can potentially see that in a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like walking in on your parents having sex. It's like seeing two grown people playing Just Dance on a Switch at a restaurant table. That would be horrifying.
Wow. That's painting some scary images. I'm glad people do not take their Switch out in public more often.
Just to make it better, imagine them naked.
That doesn't make it better.
Doesn't make it
Oh, okay.
better.
Sorry. I thought that was supposed to help. If you imagine everybody naked.
It's what they say. I
If
don't
you're
know.
nervous.
No. I can't say I've ever really tried it, but I can't imagine how that would be beneficial in any way.
Oh well, it's just I don't know, but I just enjoy it. I imagine everybody naked all the time.
That's good to know.
Oh, thanks
Yeah.
for sharing.
I'm imagining both of you naked now.
Hopefully not playing Just Dance, right? I don't even have the demo for that one, so you can roll that out.
I don't even know what you guys look like.
We should keep it that way. Anyway, we should talk about something that we actually enjoy playing. Ooh, it's a weird night in Nintendo Land, guys, I tell you. All right. So, Splatoon 2 news has come out. Some interesting news. So, first, we got a interview from Famitsu talking about development of Splatoon 2. And I thought this was really interesting. Splatoon 2 was being developed at the same time as they were developing updates for Splatoon 1. That kind of makes sense when you start thinking about it. And the Octo expansion was being developed at the same time as Splatoon 2 updates. So you kind of see why things were delayed. That's why we had Octolinks in Splatoon 1 that you could hack, but never got them, I think.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
we all kind of suspected like Splatoon did better than they expected, and they're like, hey, we got kind of a hit here, but they knew the Wii U was dead, so it was like, well, they had content that they thought about, and it's like, okay, we're gonna make a sequel, and that sequel was the Splatoon 1.5 that we got, which we kind of called as such, and I think this furthers that whole argument. Would you guys agree that what we got really was Splatoon 1.5?
Yeah.
And it also explains why we got it so quickly after the Switch was launched.
Oh yeah. But I wish we still played more Splatoon. But it got old kind of fast. We just played the first one to death, and the new one wasn't new enough, right? It was 1.5. But
there are updates coming out tonight. In fact, they're probably already live. And I haven't just been super enthralled to go and check them out. I probably will log in at some point and do my August salmon run gear grind, which last time I just did to the first point where I got the new gear and then I quit.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But it's becoming more and more difficult, especially when there's another game I would rather be playing, to go and play Splatfest. That is something just to take an aside here, I hope they really update that for Splatoon 3 or 2.5 or whatever they do. I hope that they change the Splatfest where we don't have to spend a good part of our life playing one Splatfest.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes so long.
We lose a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you give us 4 points and we lose.
Yeah,
2.
Anything, or just reduce the total numbers or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or we could just be less OCD about getting all those sea snails, which we probably will never use.
Yeah,
I've never used one.
Used
one?
At all?
Never. No. I get them all the time, but I'm hoarding them.
I just re-roll my stuff like a slot machine just for fun.
I've used mine to expand gear. I don't think I've ever used one in Splatoon 2 to re-roll, but maybe once.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys laugh. I wasn't saying that as a joke. I was saying that dead serious.
Yeah.
I totally just, if I have gear with if I got 3 crappy items on my gear, I'll just, I'll randomly re-roll it, and occasionally I'll get something good.
I mean, yeah, that's totally good. That's what they're meant
for.
But I mean, I know you can use them for for other stuff these days, but I'm not that fancy.
Well, I mostly just use them to expand slots on gear that I like to use, or
Yeah.
it's nice
If it,
looking. Something green.
yeah, something that's only got one slot or whatever, or two. Yeah, no, I use them for that, and then I will re-roll my shit occasionally. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
I wish we could save a complete outfit in there. Like
Yeah.
save simple
Like preset, just preset outfits, and I mean, for stats or for looks, whatever the reason, it would be very, very nice to have a closet like that with preset. Yeah.
Because then you're doing
That
Spot
that
fest.
base.
Never mind. I can't think what I'm trying to say.
I have to change my clothes like for different modes sometimes. Like if I'm gonna run the Octobrush, I want one set of gear. If I'm running the Splattershot Pro, I want a different set. And for a long time, I just took photos or screenshots on my phone, and I have them saved in my photos. So it's like I can't remember what shoes I wore with this, and I'd look them up. I just recently deleted them actually because I haven't been playing much. But yeah, I wish that we could save them, and I have saved some to the Amiibo just so I could tap it in. But then I update it, and then I don't know how far behind those are.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's way that was locked behind way too much hassle. The Amiibo thing. It was a cute idea. It was neat, but it's just too much of a pain. I just want a little closet, and I can click through my sets with a weapon. With or without, I wouldn't care, I guess. But it'd be nice to just have. I have this set for the roller with my, ninja squid and my, object shredder or whatever it is. Just it would be nice. I mean, not that it's that hard to go switch out the ones you want, but
you have to remember what you want.
Well, at least for me, I've got a handful of favorites that are always in the top of the list.
But as you get new gear, the new gear replaces those.
Oh, that's true. It rotates. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And stuff that you haven't necessarily used for a while gets rotated back a couple pages. I know what you mean.
You think it's safe to say, as they're working now, as Octo expansion is out, and they're continuing to release updates. I know there has been some word that, like, the people responsible for Salmon Run still have ideas they want to do. Do you think they're already working on Splatoon 3 or more DLC?
I think they're gonna try to sell the same stuff over again. I think they're on board with the games as a service kind of thing. They sort of did it with Splatoon. They sold us Splatoon and then gave us a ton of free, content. But of course, they sold us a bare bones game. So I think they'll continue to do that. I don't see a Splatoon 3 until the next Nintendo console or whatever, however that works. I think Splatoon 2 will just keep seeing updates, and I think they have a lot of updates for games slated for the online. I hope. But right, I have a feeling that we're going to see some just extra stuff in Mario Kart, extra stuff in Splatoon, things to motivate you to go play online and pay the service. We can hope, anyway.
And kind of rolling into our next topic here is Nintendo is pushing more for their games to become esports. You want to have that base game and continue to build off of it so players can get good with that game before you release a sequel, I think. And that's
true. That's something they've kind of learned from the fighting game thing, where it's like, wow, there's a lot of people still stuck on Melee. Like you have to kind of, and I remember people complaining about Street Fighter 4 because there was an ultra, there was a super, and then an ultra, and then a whatever, and it was like people complained that there was no real definitive version of Super Street Fighter 4, and that was why I never got a ton of, play on the competitive circuit. Right. People want something to be standardized and stay that way for a while. You can do little balance tweaks here and there, but people want a standardized system to play within. So I don't see them breaking that anytime soon. I think it's going to be all incremental upgrades for the lifetime of the Switch.
I think that's a good assumption.
Mm-hmm.
But rolling into our next topic, which I thought this was another really interesting Splatoon tidbit. So it's Nippon Professional Baseball is going to host and sponsor a what's called NPB Esports Series Splatoon 2 starting next spring. So basically, Nippon Professional Baseball is like the MLB of Japan. That's what I'm taking it. So a professional sports organization is actually sponsoring an esport. And as we've talked about before, Japan's really pushing to get this into the Olympics, and esports as a Olympic sport, and they're also pushing to move it into being, right now, like gambling is illegal or playing for money. So they're trying to move around those laws, and I think this is another step to make esports more of a thing. But anyway, pretty cool.
I think that's a good assessment as far as the esport thing goes. That said, I mean, right? ESPN now has a stake in esports over here, so it's it's becoming a bigger deal everywhere. We'll see. I don't know about it being in the Olympics, man. That's kind of
Yeah.
crossing a line, I think. Chess has never been in the Olympics, right?
Right. Not that I know of.
Why would Tetris? Right? Why would I could see them trying to have some parallel event, the video game Olympics, alongside the regular Olympics. But I don't see this being a real thing. I just don't see, unless physical games, Wii tennis as an event, Wii bowling, no.
Yeah, that just kind of makes a mockery of the real sports when you go that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could see this. I could see them doing an exhibition thing, alongside the real Olympics, but these can't be real. Again, if chess has never been an Olympic sport, then I can't see any video game ever being an Olympic sport. Right?
Right. That's a good analogy. I like that.
And what game
Yeah.
do you choose?
Or
Yeah.
Go or whatever. Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, with just Pac-Man or Super Mario Brothers. Like you have to pick like the most basic Pong. That's what it's got to be. It's got to be Pong.
Pong.
That would be the only legitimate game you could do.
I'm just thinking about that. It's kind of like video games are kind of like sports in that effect. You couldn't have just a Olympic athlete that's goes and competes at different sports. You've got the person that's playing water polo is not the same person that's doing,
The pole vault or whatever.
the pole vault or the equestrian events. They're all different athletes, and I think different games have different players, and they're like different sports in a way. Just like you might be great at Smash, you might really suck at Splatoon.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So what games would be in your video game Olympics?
That is a very difficult question.
Like I would say Pac-Man and Super Mario have to be there. Sorry, you're saying Max.
You want like a team sport or individual?
Oh, that's a good point. Like, right, there's team sports in the Olympics. So, right, doubles Contra.
I love that you got
Right.
the Contra. That's great.
The mixed doubles, right? It has to be man and woman teams. And right, like Contra, dude, you get points for actual score and all those kinds of things, but you could totally like have judges give points for style, right? In a game like Contra.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, how artfully you jump and kill somebody. Like you can plod through an old side scroller, or you can make it look like you're just flying through the level. So you could totally be given, you could totally be doing style points alongside just regular score. There could be so much to this to make it watchable, I think.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot more watchable than the VR crap they tried to do with the last Olympics.
They could have Octodad be a game.
That would be very interesting.
Wouldn't it though?
Yeah. that was Z demoed Octodad one time after the podcast for us. It was
It was good.
it was really great. Yeah, it was an interesting experience to me for sure.
As you guys said, something better watched than played, I think.
Yeah, I would be pulling out my hair after I spent 2 minutes trying to sit down at a table.
Yeah, imagine making that an Olympic event. Like,
Well,
who the hell? People would watch that for 5 minutes and think it was the weirdest thing they'd ever seen. And then they would turn it off and say, okay, the whole world's gone to hell because the Olympics had that.
Can you imagine the commentary? All right, Z is walking to the restaurant. Okay, no, he's walking
Right.
out.
He tried to grab a bottle. Okay, he failed. All right. He tried to grab a glass again. Nope.
Oh, now he's filled.
Yeah. 20 minutes later, he still hasn't picked up that glass. How much longer is this one going to go, folks? It could be hours. They have to have a time limit on that kind of thing.
You got 5 minutes to pick up the glass and take a drink.
Yeah, and
how far did he progress? Well, this guy won because he actually picked up the glass.
Yeah, this guy got 5 steps in, he wins. Did you actually talk to your date? No. Did you actually order food? No. I walked in, I sat down. Winner. Yeah, that's an endorsement of that game. That's an endorsement to go watch it on YouTube at least.
Yep.
Maybe you should stream that for us sometimes on our Twitch channel.
Yes.
Oh, good call. Yeah, we'll have to do that with commentary.
Of course.
Yep.
All right. So we did have one other bit of Splatoon 2 news, and I thought this was pretty great. In Japan, we've got attach rate for Splatoon 2 is at 53.5%. So it's like 1 in 2 Switch owners have a copy of Splatoon 2. I think that's pretty great.
Yeah.
They have a weird sense of loyalty over there, but they eat it up, man. Anything Nintendo puts out, they just love it. Not that Splatoon 2 is bad, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I guarantee you we don't have that kind of attach rate over here.
And this is the attach rate for July 2018 as of. So back at the beginning, at launch of Splatoon 2, the attach rate was only 55.68%. So it's not wavered much. I think that is probably the greatest testament there. It's down 2.1%. It's pretty amazing. Good for
That is impressive. Yeah. But I mean, it has been bundled, I think, as you pointed out, multiple times now, multiple bundles. But it's a thing over there. They love their squid in Japan, man.
Well, we love our squids here too. Just not as much, I guess. Maybe.
We don't consume the kind of mass quantities of seafood that they do over there, man.
No, we definitely do not.
We don't eat it raw.
I especially do not.
Usually.
No. All right, so talking about other games that could be an Olympic sport, that should be an ongoing topic on our podcast. Rocket League has announced today that they will be releasing a Ultimate Edition. It'll be coming out at this August, so as you're listening this month, and it'll be $50, and it's going to include everything that the Collector's Edition had, all the DLC from that, plus some additional DLC. The biggest that they're obviously mentioning are the 3 Batmobiles that are available in game. And looking through the list, the ones that I could think of that weren't present were the ones from Fast and the Furious and the ones from Jurassic Park, which just came out, and Back to the Future. So if you don't own Rocket League and you're looking
all
for
the movie licensed ones,
right, basically, and you want to get in on it, I mean, it's a pretty good price, $50 for a ton of DLC.
Or if you wait till it's on sale for $15 with no DLC.
That's right.
Cosmetic DLC. But the other thing is, if you buy something that unlocks most of the DLC, then what's the point of playing it? I mean, not that it's no fun to play. It's just like you kind of are removing a lot of the motivation to play a lot of it.
Well, and the Rocket League DLC that is included with this is the DLC that you just buy outright from the shop.
Well,
It's
that's
not-
true. It's not like it's giving you unlocks. It's not like it's giving you anything out of loot crates, is it?
No,
No.
no, it's also
okay.
you could just buy. It's just bundled basically.
That's right. So you're still paying $1 a loot crate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that fancy car you see everybody driving that you really want. Yeah, you're still going to have to try like the rest of us to get it in vain.
That should give you a bunch of keys to go with that price tag, but whatever. I'm not buying it.
No. I think Max had a good point there. $15 on sale, pretty hard to beat. Besides, you don't really want all that DLC, right?
Yeah.
It's tempting, but we've moved on to bigger and better games, I guess.
Oh, by bigger and better games, you of course are meaning Fortnite.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
None of us, we never play Fortnite.
Mhm.
I never heard of that crap. What is this? What is this Fortnite you're talking about?
Well, apparently it's a pretty big deal.
Nah, you're
We're not-
lying.
we did get content update today, and I don't know how they've done it, but they've done it to where you don't have the downtime in the game. You just do an update like normal, and you go right back to playing. But it's got a explosives only mode that's available now. The guided missile is back, which I have yet to find in the game and play, but from our friend Mo's analysis, it sounds pretty cool. You basically fire it, you can steer it in the game, so it doesn't go very far.
Oh, cute.
So I'll try again in a little while to see if I can get one of those.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, it's only in the explosives mode. I haven't seen it in the 50 versus 50
I gotcha.
or squads. I did play some squads. That was my daily challenge.
I got a daily to play a match with a friend, so I will try to join you guys finally.
Hey, that sounds good. That's
I've
my
been
favorite
sleeping on the
match.
weirdest schedule ever since I got back.
It's hard to recover from any kind of trip, especially a long one.
Yeah, 9 hours difference. So I was
Man.
basically going to sleep at 5 p.m. and then waking up at, some wee hour of the morning.
We should have got online. That's when we usually play Fortnite. Wee hours in the morning.
I seem to just be missing you guys. Because I would get on and nobody would be on. But I'd look in Hangouts or whatever and see that you guys had been on like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of time I'll be playing. Oh, someone just started up, and I'll go to them, and you're playing a match, and you're like 84 left. Like, well, I'll play one.
Yeah.
Then I look, you're in a match, and there's 92 left.
Yeah. I think that's the
We'll
way
do
we
that for
did
an
the
hour.
other
Get
night.
on the bad rotation. And in my case, a lot of times I get in for like a match or 2 matches, and then I get called away for something.
Yeah.
So it's like, I see you guys on, and I jumping around, and then by the time that round's over, I got to go do baby duty or something or whatever anyway. So I just keep missing you.
Yeah.
But I see you on here and there, but I never get to play with you.
We will fix that tonight.
Yeah. We at least got to do a couple rounds before I get barked at to come to bed, because it'll happen. Watch.
All right, but the news we had tonight was not about the update, but that is good news to know. It is fun to play if you haven't tried it yet. Get in there and give it a go. But we got a Bloomberg analysis about the actual value of Epic, I guess, rather than just Fortnite. So since its launch, it has earned $1.2 billion.
That billion with a B?
Billion with a B. And it just celebrated its first anniversary just this last week. So some pretty big numbers. It is definitely, as it says, number 1 in game sales. And Epic is now valued at $8.5 billion, which is roughly the same value as Activision Blizzard and EA. They're a big deal all of a sudden.
Dude, if Disney's looking at EA and going, should we really give you the next Star Wars license? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Disney's got to be thinking about it.
Yep.
Disney's got to be thinking about it after the crap that EA has pulled lately. I'd love to see that happen. Could you imagine? I mean, we've looked at Epic. I mean, oh, go ahead.
Disney Fortnite, is that what you're meaning?
No, I mean Epic
Just about
handling the Star Wars licenses going forward, making Star Wars games instead of EA.
I can handle that. They've
Yeah.
done a really
Yeah.
nice job. I have to say that my biggest thing that I'm impressed with Epic is that even though they're a huge company, and they're making all this money, and they're turning over a huge profit every day, they still listen to their fans. They still put little
Mhm.
nods into the game to their fans.
Mhm.
They're active, I think, on Reddit, responding to people. So even though they're a big company now, they still act like a small company, which is really nice.
And they're still fixing the game, fixing bugs and stuff.
That's right.
And that was Blizzard at its best when WoW was, at its peak. Was Blizzard had gone almost overnight from like a 150 man company to like 2,500. But they still for at least for a while they still had that small company feel. And from friends I know that worked there, that wasn't always a good thing. But it definitely came through in their attention to detail and their attention to the fans. And Epic's done the same. I'd love to see them, taking on bigger stuff. I mean, they've done a hell of a job with Fortnite. And it's not just, I mean, part of it's just zeitgeist and luck, but part of it's they've handled it very, very well, and they've kept it going for over a year. Whereas look at Niantic with Pokemon Go. Sorry, Jason. But right, they bungled it. They bungled it here. They bungled it there repeatedly. Epic just hasn't. Epic's really, it's been a polished. I don't know. We haven't been playing for as long as other people have, and a lot of people have said, "Oh, there was bugs here and there, and whatever." But everything I've understood, it's been, whatever hiccups they've had along the way, it's been a good rollout. They've expanded to all sorts of platforms, and everything I've read about even the iPhone version is, hey, it's everyone's surprised. It's kind of the same type of articles people wrote about Doom and Rocket League. Hey, it actually runs on the Switch, and it's actually pretty good. That was the same articles I read about the iPhone version of Fortnite. They pulled it off, but then they are the Unreal Engine people. So you would think, kind of like Nintendo has a leg up on their own hardware over third-party devs, they kind of, they know their engine. They're going to probably be able to make the best running Unreal Engine game, of anybody.
Right.
Right.
That's a really good point. And they have had other games in the past that have not been as popular. Even the previous version of Fortnite wasn't the Save the World version, or I guess what it's called, which is not available on Switch. It didn't do as well as Fortnite Battle Royale, which is what we were playing.
Well, and the thing, as far as I understood, that was all the game was going to be until PUBG came along, and then they decided to retool Fortnite into a Battle Royale game. And then that thing took a back seat. Like when I log into the PC version, I get the first thing I get when I log in is a little thing. Do I want to play Battle Royale, or do I want to play the PvE Save the World campaign? And they almost try to dissuade you from it. It says this is an early access, blah, 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 blah. It's got bugs in it, yada, yada, yada. If that's not for you, just wait until it's free. That's what it says. They're like trying to talk you out of it, trying to talk you out of buying the single player campaign. Like it must kind of suck if they're trying to turn people off from it.
Wasn't it like $40?
Yeah,
I think it was like $30, but they dropped the price until today. And I read an article saying, and I think I posted it to you guys saying, if you spend I think they dropped it to like $10.
No, it was down to $19.99.
Oh, they dropped it to 20.
Yep.
But somebody basically said if you drop you immediately can get like because they have a little daily thing that you get money just for logging in. And if you do that for the whole season or whatever, you automatically get like 10,000 V-Bucks or something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they basically, I know what the article you were meaning, and it was they were kind of saying if you're willing to deal with this and to go through it, it's worth your time and effort to do so.
Yeah, to get the V-Bucks, but they said the game is kind of meh, and most people seem to agree.
I was tempted just because they had the free skin they were giving out for their birthday, which is not that that skin was exciting, but it's just like, that'd be nice.
Yeah, free skin.
Yeah. So they don't really give you anything, unless you look at buying the Battle Pass, is that getting free things, but they don't really give anything for free. In fact, everything is quite pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were making their money. Like another part of this similar article to this was Sensor Tower give an estimate on how much Fortnite Mobile makes on a day-to-day basis, and just on mobile, just mobile, it's making $2 million a day.
Wow.
That's just mind-blowing to me.
Epic is living the American dream.
They really are. And if you're playing every day, you don't have to even look at the shop to know what's popular or to know what's in the shop that day, because you're going to see like, oh, there's 10 people, playing as, as this character or something. It's like, oh, or you see 10 people doing this dance.
The other thing is, they're making money like it's getting pretty meta. They're making money off of stuff that has no gameplay value whatsoever.
No, it's just costumes.
They're making money off of virtual nothing. Like, not even like guns to, that are better or things to increase your level or whatever. They're selling you nothing. And people are just eating it up.
And these go from anywhere from $2 to for a very simple thing up to $20 for an elaborate costume per item.
Yeah.
Well, $20 worth of virtual currency, because again, that's a sliding scale. Because if we drop money on the PvE campaign and do some basic, some basic maintenance on it, then you get $100 worth of virtual currency, basically. For your $20 investment plus whatever time you put in. So, right, if you do drop the $20 on the PvE game, all of a sudden those prices aren't so crazy high in the shop anymore. 2,000 V-Bucks is not completely unreasonable when you've got 10 or 20,000.
Guess I see your point, yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you just look at it in the shop and then you go over to the next screen where you buy V-Bucks, somebody, and then you say somebody paid $20 to look like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if it was a Mario game and you wanted to play as Luigi, and Nintendo said you can for $20.
And in most cases, people did probably pay $20 to look like that.
Yeah,
I would imagine most cases people are just dropping the cash.
Yeah, it amazes me.
I hope it's all small children. I really do.
Yeah, it's all those 11-year-olds in Tilted Towers.
That's right. Those people in Tilted Towers need to pay $20.
Yeah, they should have to pay a $20 fine and not get anything. I think $2 million a day for a game that you can otherwise play totally free.
A game you don't have to spend anything on. Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And there's a lot of no-skin noobs out there that you see.
Yeah.
Wow. They've got it figured out somehow.
Hey, we were those no-skin noobs for a good month or two, however long that was.
Yeah.
Just remember, not all no-skin noobs are terrible.
No.
Some of them are nice. Some of them will revive you if you're crawling on the ground for 5 minutes.
A lot of them like to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about earlier, I think I've lost most of my solo player matches where I go towards the end game. I usually get killed by a no-skin. Yeah. It's a harsh world we live in.
That's like as you said, that really is the biggest insult in Fortnite is getting killed by a no-skin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get killed by the guy that's got the Season 2 level 100, outfit on, you think, yeah, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah, I can see him killing me.
Yeah, he's got way more experience in this game.
Yeah, there's no shame in that.
Yeah, obviously
But
he's dedicated.
But there's a measure of shame in getting killed by a no skin.
You
Yeah,
could have just picked the game up 5 minutes ago. Fortnite is a very unique place. I
wish it would.
If
Oh,
you've
go
never
ahead.
given it a chance and you've ever thought about it and you think it might be interesting, or even if you don't think it would be interesting, download it, play a few rounds, and you see some crazy stuff happening.
yeah, do 50 versus 50.
Yep, definitely. You just watch
Definitely
the other
start with.
players. Yeah,
Look
I
for
wish you
plus
could.
signs on the map to see where people are dying.
that's right.
And then whether you head that direction or away from that direction tells
Yeah,
us
up
what
to
kind of
you.
person you are.
If you want to know what kind of person we are all runners and hiders. If the end of the world is happening, zombies attack or whatever, do not expect me to be in the streets shooting them. I will be hiding in the basement of my home.
No,
Or in
no.
the attic.
We're
I'll
in
be
the attic.
hiding. I'll be hiding under a tree on the tallest mountain that I can find.
Right. We may carry guns, but we don't necessarily use them.
We're not pro-violence.
All I will have is a pickaxe.
And
I
a
will
stack
be
of wood.
I will be the easiest target imaginable. Come and find me.
All right. Well, I think we need to get close to wrapping up here. And I want to wrap up with another topic that we talk about a lot on the show, even though I think we all secretly despise them to some degree. We got news coming in on GameStop. I don't know if anyone's a member of their Pro Rewards program. I'm not. I carry a little card that they want to see every time I go in, but I have not paid money for that. But the Elite Pro cards or memberships will be discontinued supposedly as of today, as of August 1st. It's now August 1st as we're recording, but supposedly that ends today. So it's, of course, a follow up from Best Buy discontinuing their Gamers Club Unlocked. So, of course, GameStop follows suit.
Today I was on Twitter and I saw that Betty White was trending, and you go to you click on it, and every post is, oh my God, I saw Betty White was trending. So is she dead? Is she dead? Apparently, no, she's not dead. But it's kind of like, that's the news I keep waiting for with GameStop. The Toys R Us, press release. We are just not pretending anymore, and we're going under. See you guys. I keep waiting for that from GameStop, and unfortunately, all we get is crap like this, which to me still means impending doom. But when your entire marketing strategy is dependent upon some other company's marketing strategy, there's a problem, right? And we all know the problems with GameStop. God, why won't they just go away?
They're trying to.
Yeah, they seem to be doing their best they can to go away.
Yeah, they really are making a concerted effort to do so.
Every time something is announced, Nintendo related, and it has the word GameStop exclusive, it's just like my heart sinks. One, I know that GameStop will probably never have that item if I should want to buy it. And two, I really do not want to go in GameStop to actually buy that item.
Or you could order it online for their handling fee in 2018. I know of no other company that charges a handling fee. In some cases, on top of a shipping fee. A handling fee, really, like that's the kind of thing you get from a woman in Vegas. I don't know why they think they can get away with that in 2018.
Because people will pay it because they want their games.
There's just too many better options now. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I think that GameStop appeals to the people who don't know any better. I think is a lot of the customers. You know, the
Well,
casual gamer, and it's like, oh, they sell games there. They don't think about, oh, it's probably cheaper at Walmart or Target, or I could get the same thing and just walk in and out without being hassled.
there's a lot of people that own a gaming console that are by no means gamers. They bought it because their buddies have it. They wanted to play the Call of Duty with their buddies. They bought one or two other games for it. It otherwise gathers dust under their TV. That's who GameStop has always been for. Anybody who knew any better got their games elsewhere if they could help it. And that's been, we've all known that forever.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, when I go into GameStop, I see, you know, parents buying stuff for their kids. I see people like ghetto thugs returning boxes full of old game consoles that I'm pretty sure were not theirs originally. Right. I've actually seen that a couple times in you know, GameStops around me and been like, dude, there's no way you just have 3 PlayStations and like
Wow.
four bags full of games and like there's I've once or twice. But that's who those stores are for. They're not like anybody else. We order our games. How do you order your games most of the time? I order mine on Best Buy usually.
I usually go to Target. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Those are probably our big 3 outside of occasionally Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Those are the big 3 places that we get all our stuff generally. GameStop we go to when we're desperate, and I would just like to not have that option anymore, to be quite honest. I'd love to never have to have a GameStop exclusive item again. That would just be great.
Yeah, the exclusive items, and I think really how GameStop stays alive is that trading in system that you're mentioning.
Yeah. Used games.
Used games. And it's just, if it was a good system, it wouldn't be a bad thing to support. But when you go in and it's like, you can buy this new for $40 or you can buy it used for $37.
Yeah.
I don't understand the people who buy that $37 copy.
Well, once upon a time, like suckers basically, but once upon a time, those had to have been a value. Like I imagine when they first started doing this, you could get a $50 game for 15 or 20 bucks. But then there's Amazon for that now. And eBay. Right?
Right.
There's just better avenues to do it. It's easier. Now, don't get me wrong, I bought a couple of used games on your recommendation. They happen to be, you know,
Good
$5
price,
or $6 or $7. Yeah. You know, for 3DS specifically. But those were kind of rare finds, and otherwise, yeah, man, I don't buy used games at GameStop. Digital downloads are killing them anyway. I'm sorry. I hate to see brick and mortar stores go away, and I hope things like Best Buy stay around. But yeah, GameStop, good riddance. Nothing but frustration with them over the past 20 years.
Yeah. It's like I feel like I'm a fairly pleasant person when it comes to buying games and things like that. But it's like I almost have like a mentality that comes over me when I go into a GameStop. I'm just preparing myself to have something done to me, to be disappointed or have some kind of struggle with an employee just to try to buy the game I want, to have to turn down 10 other things or they not have it and give me some bogus answer as to why they don't have it.
My attitude is when I'm in a GameStop, like with the amiibos, I just stopped asking, at least at my local GameStop. They never knew what the hell they had. Sometimes I say, oh, do you think you have any in the back? We might.
The second question, would you go and check?
Yeah, would you go and check? Well, okay, we do have some in the back, but I don't know if they're on hold or not for anybody. It's like, well, how do you know that? Well, I got to wait for the manager to come back. It's like, what if one of those people comes in for that item while the manager's gone? What the fuck are you gonna tell him? Well, sorry. I don't know. I just high school kids and stuff. I guess I'm an old man and I lose patience for that kind of thing. But right, it's kind of like when you go at a fast food place and the high school kids go there and they're being served by high school kids and it's kind of like its own little closed community. But when adults come in, they're like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I just have a El Pollo Loco around here that always screws up my order.
Man needs his what would that be? Tacos? Where do you get it?
El Pollo Loco, right? That's well, we're so far off on a tangent right now, but chicken, you get chicken at El Pollo Loco.
You just get chicken. You don't get tacos or burritos or.
Sometimes I get a burrito, but usually you just get chicken, like in a plate. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. Do you guys have El Pollo Loco out there?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. It's a rotisserie chicken place, Mexican style.
Oh.
Oh.
So-
I thought it was like
so
a
they-
taco place.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking Taco Bell.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, El Pollo Loco is just a rotisserie chicken place. It's drive-through, but it's yeah, like you can get like a half a chicken meal, like a family meal with sides and whatever. It's the setup's a little more like a KFC type thing, yeah, where you get like 2 pieces of chicken and 2 side items, but your side items will be like beans and rice or stuff like that. It's all kind of Mexican style, and you get a couple tortillas with it that are never enough. But yeah, I didn't realize that El Pollo Loco was like a local Southwest thing, but I guess I should have figured that out.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. The Indos love it. I don't understand why. Indonesians love Mexican food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a similar spice profile or something.
Yeah, I think they like the spicy. But everybody loves Mexican food for some reason. It's like universal. It seems like everybody likes a taco, man.
Yeah.
Put meat in some sort of flatbread and fry it. There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that. Like French fries.
Right. Yeah. Anyway,
You don't have to wait for me to pause. You can just go, all right, reeling it back in.
should probably reel it into a close. I'm fascinated by this chicken restaurant, which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I've grown up with pretty much. So I just totally slipped my mind that, oh yeah, that's probably local. Never even really thought about it.
Yeah. I've heard of it, but I always thought it was like a taco Mexican place.
I mean, they do have like you can get chicken soft tacos probably, but everybody I know just always orders like the big, rotisserie chicken stuff. But anyway, do we have any other topics, Jason?
Well, I think we're going to reel it in. We are kind of running a little long tonight. So thank you for tuning into the Let's Talk Chicken podcast. But seriously, hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation tonight. We've kind of been all over the place, but it's been a lot of fun. You never know where we'll go. So if you've enjoyed listening, as always, you check out our other episodes on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes. And of course, you can hit us up on YouTube or Twitter. Give us your comments and feedback. If perhaps you have side recommendations for Z's Chicken, I'm sure he would be willing to take a listen. If not, we'll see you next week. And you never know, you might see us on Twitch, so keep a lookout there as well. All right, have a good night.
Good night.
Party on, folks.